1038.
Number 1 for music and entertainment.
Ian McKellen, it is so cool to meet you.
Thank you.
After all these years, right, is it still odd or is it normal for you when people get excited to be in your presence? What's that feeling like for you?
Well, I recognise it because I get excited being in other people's presence, you know. It's one of the advantages of being an actor that if you're a bit shy like me, you can go into a room and of strangers and some of them will know who you are and therefore be nice to you. And if someone comes up to you of any age and says thank you for something, a performance or a film or a play that they saw many, many years ago, that you've been a part of people's lives, because we only act for an audience, you know. That's why we do it. So to meet an audience at some point is very good, particularly for a film actor who doesn't have the advantage of acting on stage in the presence of the audience.
I'm going to thank you for the role of Mr. Holmes because I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the fact that it's a film about ageing. We don't see that up on the big screen.
No.
What was it like for you when you saw yourself as a 93-year-old man?
Well, I looked a bit like my granddad, so I thought, oh, good, very like my granddad. Well, of course, when you're looking at rushes and bits of filming you've done, you're always thinking, do I look believable? And I thought, yeah, I think we've got it right. The look is right, the makeup is right, the shuffling is right, the voice is right. Yeah, that's an old man. Well, then you have to make him a particular old man. And then the fun of this film is that I get to play Sherlock Holmes in his prime when he's still solving mysteries. But you're right, it is a study of old age, someone at the end of his life who's got something really worrying him about the past that he has to solve. So he's still trying to be a detective on his own behalf and coping with physical and mental frailties. So that, yes. I think the publicity people in the movie said, "Oh, this is a film for old people. They'll love it." I think young people can be interested in old age, don't you? And there's a young character in it, isn't there? A 10-year-old who accompanies the old man. So I think what is appealing, perhaps, is that this man who's trying to investigate himself discovers a humanity which he didn't know he had and that we hadn't suspected he had. So he rather late in the day matures into someone you'd like to spend the evening with, or even your life with. Sherlock Holmes that we all know is not a very easy person.
There's a lot of Oscar buzz around this, right?
Oh.
Now, I think your portrayal is amazing.
There's lots of bees, aren't there, too?
See, hand in
Bee
hand.
buzz.
But you've got over 51 international acting awards. Do they still mean something to you, and where do you keep them all?
Well, if you get an award, it's, I suppose, like getting a good review in that it means someone's liked your work. Well, that's why you'd work. You want to be liked. You want to be appreciated. You want the film, the play, to entertain people. So it's a sort of confirmation that it's worked. But if you don't get the nomination or you don't get the prize, you don't have to say to yourself, I'm a failure, because you're not. It's all a matter of luck and taste, I suppose, isn't it? So, well, some of these awards don't exist. They're just an announcement in the paper. I do have the objects in some cases, and they're scattered around the place.
Some actors turn around and say, I only do theatre or I only do film. I love that you do film, you do Shakespeare, you do Gandalf, you do coronations.
Well, part of what makes me say yes is if it's something I've not done before. So I do like the variety and the challenge of, and I think if it's a part I'm not certain I can play, not certain I can bring off, not certain I can inhabit, that's a good challenge. If it reminds me of something I've already done, if it's another old man with a long beard, I think, no, I'd rather been there. So variety, challenge, and crucially, working with good people. And on this, Bill Condon, who I'd worked with on Gods and Monsters, and Laura Linney, and a host of friends, Roger Allam and Francis Barb and Frankie de la Tour. You know, how could I had to do it.
Well, thank you for all your roles, and I'm going to end this as I started it. So cool to meet you.
Thank you. Give my love to Ireland. Well done, Ireland. Well done.
Spin 103.8.
Number 1 for music and entertainment.